Hi, everyone. I'm Francesca Schuler with the California Fitness Alliance, and welcome to a new episode of the Faces of California Fitness. This new program we're launching is to really introduce the amazing entrepreneurs, leaders, instructors, coaches, and really all the faces in the fitness industry in California that do such an amazing job of impacting the health of their communities. I'm really excited to be sitting here today with Mimi Benz from Sweat Cycle. She is an entrepreneur, a mom of three, and has a lot of amazing stories to tell. So welcome, and really excited to kind of learn a little bit more about you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Our pleasure. So I'd love to just get started by how did you get in the fitness industry? I know it's been your passion for a long time, and so I'd love to hear about it.
Long story short, my parents got divorced and I relocated to Austria, and I was there for a couple of years, and the lifestyle there was just very physical, and we were like outdoors and hiking and skiing. We came back to the States, and by that point I was about 14 and a half, and I just, especially here in Los Angeles, it was very idle. So I was itching to kind of get out and be more active. And LA's fitness community is abundant, and my mom started dragging me along with her to like step aerobics and things like that. By 1996, I discovered my very first spinning class, and I was hooked ever since, and it is literally the tapestry of my life. Fitness has been in the background of my life ever since. So I never really envisioned myself being a fitness studio owner. Fitness was something I just sort of did to release a lot of tension. I had a very tumultuous childhood. I started working at gyms just to sort of get free classes while I was putting myself through college, and it just sort of became this thing that I did to kind of get through life. And I eventually ended up managing studios and consulting, helping other studio owners manage and own their own fitness studios, and it just sort of evolved into this thing. I never thought that I would own my own studio, but I ended up meeting my husband at a cycling studio.
You'll have to tell us that story.
Yeah. We fell in love, we got married, had our first baby, and he was teaching spin classes at a couple studios in the city, and I had at that point gotten certified in Pilates, had my own studio, was practicing Pilates, still taking spin classes. And I sort of looked at him one day and said, why don't we open up a spin studio together? Let's do something together. And he was game. So that's sort of the early stages of how this all kind of came to be. He teaches classes, but he doesn't run the business or anything like that. But he definitely was involved in encouraging me to start the business, and I couldn't have done it without him.
You're a mom of three, a business owner. How have you navigated that, and any tips you'd give for someone who's thinking about it?
Honestly, it's just a day at a time. Work on what's in front of you right now. That's sort of been my motto, because if I think about too much, I get overwhelmed. I think more than anything, it's a juggling act, and you just gotta show yourself some grace, because you just can't do it all, and you have to reach out for support. You have to build a team. I think the last few years I've really learned that in order to really grow, you have to have people around you that support you, and you can't wear all the hats. So
asking for help, yeah, that's a lesson that I think takes a lot for a lot of us to learn, but once you do learn it, you realize your life gets a little easier.
It definitely does.
What are some of the misconceptions that you've gotten when you tell people like, I'm a studio owner, and how do you help people really understand what we're all about?
I actually started this business because I worked at a lot of fitness places that had a lot of those stereotypes that we are aware of, and it was very intimidating or, physically driven, where everything was on the outer exterior focused. And I was searching for something a little bit deeper, a little bit more inviting and warm and welcoming and accepting. Business is hard, and there's daily struggles that I think on the surface people don't really see, because we present things in a certain way because we have to. It's a business and we have to keep things professional, but the struggles are there, and they're similar to many other businesses that are out there.
One of the things you and I chatted about earlier was the importance of mental health. We're much more about the inside than the outside, and that's the impact we have, but I'm not sure everyone really appreciates that, and would love to hear kind of your experiences on that.
This journey that I've embarked on started very much there for me. I was having, troubles at home. I was struggling with anxiety and stress, and my husband too, he's sober, 20 plus years, and he came and got into fitness to kind of deal with all of those inner working things that are just causing stress and anxiety. And fitness, it really does provide a space for people to work through their mental stuff and the challenges. And members come to me and say that this space has afforded them an environment that's helped them cope through some of really the tough times in life, whether it's divorces or loss of a loved one, or just depression and anxiety. It really is what they call cheap therapy. So I think it does save lives. I do believe that.
Let's talk about a little about this year, these past 18 months, which has been just unbelievably challenging for everyone. But how have you either handled it, or what are some of the lessons learned?
There's so much unknown, and you're constantly having to shift gears and pivot. And it has taught me that sometimes you just need to let go, and things are just out of your control. And if you show up and do your best, sometimes that's all you can do.
Right.
I think one of the things that COVID has afforded me is to really streamline things, trim the fat, if you will. Look at areas of my life and my business where I've overdone things were unnecessary. It's really kind of made me think more effectively what's important, what really matters and what's noise, and just filtering out the noise and focusing on the fundamentals and the things that matter the most. We did everything we could from the moment we shut down to remain engaged with our community. We went straight to digital offerings and then opened up outside when we could. Gratitude is all I've heard. It's just thank you for staying in touch. Thank you for offering these things. The fact that we started filming and the fact that we started doing outdoor classes has helped them stay sane because they were able to engage with other humans, have conversations, see other people, because we kept trying and evolving and pivoting. People were very grateful for that. And even though we weren't making money, we were still providing, I think, spiritual currency is what I call it, like just giving back to the community. I think that'll come back to us at some point, hopefully. Yeah.
I know you've been very involved in advocacy here in LA. What have been some of your learnings in that journey? What are some of the takeaways you've had?
As business owners, we have been used to kind of closing ourselves off to other fitness owners. And I think that has been such a problem for us moving into this trying time, because we're just not connected. And so we're not used to working together. This has brought many of us together, and friendships have developed that I think are incredibly rewarding. I mean, there's enough people to go around. I'm hoping, at least from this experience, that we do have a seat at the table now and that we can be part of the conversation. I am grateful that COVID has sort of brought this community of fitness business owners together to really advocate for change and more awareness. And so I hope for more of that in the years to come.
A big issue as the fitness industry was growing pre-COVID, there was still such a rise of childhood obesity. And so how have you helped your kids think about healthy habits?
They learn by example. So if I'm eating healthy, if I'm putting nutritious foods into my body and I make that a priority for myself, I think they learn that from me first. And then of course, just having healthy options available, and then also showing them some balance. So letting them have ice cream and enjoying food. I think relationships with food are important, but just leading by example.
I was in your class last night and was struck by the diversity of your member base. How do you make sure everyone feels included and safe to use in your studios? How do you invite people in?
It's inclusive. It's something anybody can do. So just starting there, and then it just sort of like trickles down to the community, and then they're referring their friends, and it's sort of like drinking the Kool-Aid in that sense. It's just operating from that place at all times that anybody can do this, no shaming, it's just, I wanted to keep it from the very beginning, welcoming and inviting, being more forgiving to yourself. The fact that you show up is a lot, showing up I think is the hardest part, and operating from that, perspective at all times I think is important. I do hope that there's more recognition of how important it is from the country. I do think that it's sort of this afterthought. Media outlets kind of painted fitness to be kind of the bad guy in COVID, and I disagree wholeheartedly. We're part of the solution. Working out goes hand in hand with eating well. Fitness business owners can collaborate more. I hope if anything we can, continue to work together and advocate and create more awareness around fitness.
Okay, I'm going to ask a few fun questions to close us out, just so people get to know you, and hopefully you may inspire someone to start their own studio, even if they have 3 kids. And I think it's amazing what you've done. So what's your favorite workout?
Spin.
What's your favorite music to listen to while you work out?
Hip hop.
If you could travel somewhere with your family, where would you go?
Barcelona.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Sleep. Honestly, I want to be like my husband. My husband can fall asleep like this, and I'm like laying in bed like, okay, shut your mind off, just breathe.
I'm with you on this one 100%.
Honestly, I just want, because sleep is a problem.
It is, and it's like sleep, exercise, and food are the most important things. That's a good one. I agree with you. If you solve how to get that, let me know. Have you found any books that have been helpful that you'd share?
So Set Boundaries, Find Peace is the book that I just cracked open recently. I think for any business owner, you need to learn how to set boundaries. That's the struggle for myself, as I will work from the moment I wake up till past 10 o'clock with no breaks. Finding that balance between separating yourself from the business so that you're still an individual who knows how to take care of themselves, that's my biggest struggle. Learn how to set up boundaries and take care of yourself.
What's interesting now with so many people working at home, that's becoming a challenge for more and more people because there is sort of this blurring of the lines. And I think that's what's led to a lot of the mental health challenges this past year. And where we always encourage, like, bring your team, work out, at least get them out of the house, even if you're not in the office together. But sweating together is a great way to relieve some of that. Well, thank you so much. So appreciate your time. More importantly, so grateful that you and your team are committed to finding solutions to keep your members healthy no matter what, despite a really challenging environment. And really appreciate your leadership in helping us advocate here in LA and for the state. And just really impressed with everything you've done. And thank you so much for everything you do for California Fitness.
Thank you for everything you've done.
Well, it's great to meet you, and we'll see you soon. Maybe in the hot box.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Thanks.